I think Big would have made like maybe like jazz albums, like on some Queen Latifah type shit.
Welcome to the You Feel Me podcast. Yeah. It's Jimmy B. Fearless here and my big homie Wayne.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure, man. We've been working on this for a while. This is our first episode, so it's just crazy that we got to this point. Me and Wayne have known each other for going on 5+ years.
Yeah, you know I mean, I think it's going to be like 7-8 years, man.
Actually, yeah, it is 7-8 because 2012, 2013. So this is really one of my closest friends. You know how it is when you turn to an adult, the motherfuckers just start dropping off like flies. So, it's just good to have people you can rely on, you can relate with. So let's go ahead and just talk about who I am, and then we'll go into who Wayne is, and we'll go into also why we started the You Feel Me podcast. And we'll talk about our top 5 that are alive, since this is so focused on music primarily. And then we'll talk about our first week's topic, which is, would Tupac and Biggie still be dope in 2021? I'm Jimmy B. Fearless. I'm a rapper originally from Wilmington, Delaware. Me and Wayne met in Atlanta when I relocated to there about 2010, but we met like 2012. I do music. Planning on releasing my newest album called Fi, Married. And music is the biggest part of my life besides what I do as my career. And I ain't going to mention where I work at. Wayne don't either. But if you listen to this, you probably know. You know what I mean? Because y'all probably going to be the first fans. But yeah, man, me and Wayne met at work. And we've been cool ever since. But yeah, I'm just a rapper, man, just trying to make it. And I want to go ahead and start this podcast, not only to give you more about me and the people that are close to me, such as Wayne, but also to just show my thoughts and opinions of what I think about the urban culture and the experience that music gives it. So, Wayne, tell the folks about yourself, man.
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate it. My name is Wayne. You can also call me Wayne D. Bridges Esquire, of course. But I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm pretty much raised here, man. I've been here since I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. So I'm more Georgia than anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm really excited that you wanted to start this podcast, man. When you told me about it, I was ready to go. We got this going pretty quickly too, man. For anybody who's listening, man, we did this. Man, it didn't take us no time. He just said, you want to do it? I was like, yep. And then, we got this and that, and then we was ready to go. So, yeah, about me, not too much about me, man. I don't, the things I hate about these type of questions, I don't know right off the bat, what to tell you about me, but
word,
I can't, if I could just ask you guys to just stick with us a little while, and you'll get to know a lot about me, because a lot of me comes out when you ask a certain question, or it's easier for me to tell you about myself when you ask me, what do you feel about this, or how do you do this? It's for me, talking about myself, it's just hard to do. It's just weird, but I am opinionated. I do have a lot to say. I do, think a lot. I can't turn my brain off. So this is a good place for me to just let everything loose, let everything go.
All right, bro. I think one of the best ways to get to know us is going down the top 5 list. So how about you go ahead and kick us off with that?
I just want you to know, man, that I hate doing top 5 lists. I hate these lists, man, because you're going to leave somebody out. And somebody's going to hear it and be like, oh, what about this person? What about that person? It sucks, man. You're going to leave somebody out. You're going to forget about somebody. And I don't know, man. I don't know. But I love this debate. How do you want to do? You want to do it from 5 to 1? I do 1, you do 1, or how you want to do?
Now, you go first. I want you to do 5 to 1. And then I'll do my 5 to 1 because you wrote yours down. I didn't. I'm doing my shit ad hoc. I'm doing my shit off the temple. Okay. On purpose.
Okay.
So you go ahead and start first.
All right. So 5 to 1. I'm going to go with, so number 5, I'm going to go with Nas. Right?
And number 5?
Number 5.
Okay.
I got my reasons for it. Okay?
Go ahead.
So number 5 is going to be Nas. number four is going to be number four. I think is going to be Jay. Right.
Okay.
Number three is going to be Pac. Okay. Number two is going to be Big. And number one, let me say my number one, okay? Because I want to say that, like Big and no, not Big. Big is always going to be number two. Like, so my number five was Nas. Nas and Pac may change.
Okay.
Depending on, like, you know, I can be getting into a Nas mood and be like, nah, man, I never caught on to this or something like that. Or I can get to a Pac mood and I don't know. So those can kind of be changed a little bit. But Big still number two. And number one is, of course, Eminem. I still feel Eminem is the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Name somebody better. Who would name somebody better than Eminem? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to name somebody better than Eminem.
Okay.
Let me give mine. So then we'll
no doubt.
critique.
And
because
yours is like in no particular order, right? Or
no, mine's is going to be from top 5 to 1.
Okay.
But I'm doing it off the tempo. So
okay.
I think my shit changes. My top 5 changes constantly, right? What did this person do? What new music they bringing out? But certain people are just legends, right? So at number 5, I'm putting Eminem.
Okay. All right.
He's number 5. Number 4, I'll put Nas. Number 3, I'll put Tupac. Number 2.
See, told you, man. It's these lists, man.
I put Biggie. I love Biggie, man. And I think, and that's one of our main topics, Tupac and Biggie. That's coming up, right? But number 1 is K Dot, man.
Number 1, your number 1 is K Dot.
My number 1 is K Dot.
Damn, I was.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain right now. By the way, Future is number 6, and Drake is number 7.
Damn, you said Future. I expect the Future to be your number 1.
No, because Future.
Okay.
Future. If this was talking about music that I listen to every day, that I could party to and just work out to, and when I want to focus at work, do my work shit too, it'll be Future, because Future has those type of songs that you can just drown out. The beat is banging. He ain't going to say a lot of shit, but he's always going to be witty and try to make you laugh. And he always going to try to make something that's good for the streets and good for the club. Respect that. It's hard to
understand what he's saying.
No, it's not. No, it ain't,
it's
bro.
hard to, nigga, I listen to Future like this. It's hard to figure out, bro. It don't matter. It don't matter how long trap has been trapped, man. It's still hard to figure out.
Hold up. Let's talk about, and I know this is a side, but let's really talk about this. So you sitting there, you're going to tell me that you sitting there like this with the stone face when you listen to Mask Off.
No. So,
or like
I guess a
March
little bit.
Madness.
No, I guess a little bit. Oh, definitely
right?
March. No, let's time out. I'm not saying I'm not jamming to the songs from they own. I'm saying I'm trying to focus just clearly on the lyrics, but those few times when you do listen to the song and you're trying to like maybe hear what they're trying to say rather than party to it, rather than dance to it, or rather than just, whatever. Like you actually trying to listen. And when you take the time and you're like, you're not saying too much. And of course you may not expect them to say too much, but I mean, now I can hardly understand the words that you are trying to say.
I would say it like this. Future, that the song Mask Off is one example, really one of few, to be straight up honest, of examples of him trying to actually be conceptual. Like if you look at the album that's on, that shit is like almost the last song. Like it's not even like I don't even think he thought it was gonna blow. But it really does embody the experience of people during that time and the use of drugs and how drugs actually, like opioids became like part of culture, even for people that had money. So like Percocets, Molly, like all of that shit. And then like drinking lean, that stuff is actually its own culture. It's a drug culture that infested like inner cities and people with money. So like artists, like sports figures, businessmen, like a lot of people love those designer drugs. And like he talks about how that shit, he is addicted to it in that song. Like other songs like Purple Rain, like he's talking about that shit, like how he's addicted to it and how it's very important to him keep going on. But that's not the point of this. We're gonna talk about Future in a whole episode about why he's like.
That is the part of this. That is the point of this, because this is what happens.
But he's number 6 though.
I feel you, but this is what happens when you make this podcast. When you make these podcasts, is you start with one thing and you go off to something else. Now,
that's right. You're right, bro.
Like,
you're right.
But like,
you're right, bro.
So which more thing we can go off? Do you feel like Future makes or has made concept albums? Do you think he's that conceptual artist?
He is not a conceptual artist, hell to the no. But I would say that he has made songs that relate to him and a whole bunch of motherfuckers that's in that life. Like trap is like for like the trap. Like it's about that and anyone that relates to that shit. So like I you know what I mean? I'm not busting traps out here right now, right? But I can relate to it because I've seen it, been a part of it, done it, you know what I mean, and know what it's like. Yeah. So I can have that understanding of it. And I understand how that shit, once you do that stuff, it comes with you. It's just automatically part of your aura and your culture. So that's the reason why Hov would do a song with Future. He'd be like, what? Hov barely done a song with J. Cole, but he gonna do a song with Future?
And I hate that too. That we could talk about that too, because he'll jump on a song with Drake in a heartbeat, but won't do shit for Cole. But all right, fuck it, you know.
I mean, yeah, we can talk about that. So, all right. So why is Kendrick Lamar my number one? Why is Eminem your number one?
Okay.
K-Dot to me is all the rappers that I listed. He's all of them. He's like the Super Saiyan, to get nerdy, right? He's like the combination of all those artists that came before him. Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, NWA, Tupac, Biggie, Hov, Nas, Eminem. He has all of those perfect elements of all of those artists. The best parts of those artists, K-Dot has. And he's able to be a cat that makes a song like DNA, but can also make a song like Love Me or Loyalty, or he can make a song like You Don't Have to Try Too Hard, my nigga. Like, he can make songs that relate to everybody. Backpackers, hood niggas, the conscious, the BLM crowd. He can make everything for everyone in one album. And I've never heard an artist be able to tell a story like he does. And then his next album is P-Funk. You know how gangster that is to drop a P-Funk album after you drop one of the best albums in a fucking decade? Yeah. You drop Good Kid, Mad City. It defined a whole state. Mm-hmm. And then your next album, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm expecting such great things. And he drops a P-Funk album. And it's the perfect way to end the sophomore slump. He can rap toe-to-toe, flow-wise with M. I think he could easily go bar to bar with Biggie and Drake, because he has, like with Drake at least, right? He's had rap beef and killed each opponent.
Called himself King of New York. And walked through New York. No problems. Yep.
No problems. He can do songs with Lauryn Hill. He can sing in his old raspy voice, make it sound. He does voice changes like Busta Rhymes. He puts emphasis on his words like Luda. Like, he's able to do that shit without even coming off as corny. And the hoodest niggas I ever met in my life, killers, cats with F's on their chest, love K-Dot and respect him. And he is so Compton.
Yeah. But
he's like the Compton of like, this is the good Compton. Like, this is what the best we can make out of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Uber rhymer like The Game, but he don't have to be all gangster with it. He don't have to be all, I'm tough. He don't have to even be like me, wearing jewelry or acting this way or saying this shit. He don't gotta do none of that. He can be himself and get ultimate respect. He's the best spitter in the game. He can go bar for bar with anybody and eat him. So that's the reason why he's number one. I feel like he's Biggie. I feel like he's Nas. I feel like he's Tupac. I feel like he's all of them niggas, all wrapped into one person. Y'all so much for listening to the podcast thus far, the You Feel Me podcast. Comment below if you think my top 5 is trash. I forgot Hov, I'm bugging. Comment if you think Wayne's top 5 is fucked up because he forgot to put K-Dot in there. So we love y'all comments. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you'll never miss none of our new episodes or any of the rest of our content that we're bringing out for this podcast. Also, my music and music videos I got coming in the future. Also, if you
like the full version of this podcast, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. So anyway, just thank y'all support and enjoy the rest of the episode.
So why is he good number one, though?
I know where I was when I first heard the Slim Shady LP. And that's when I like just fell in love with him. And then like the Marshall Mathers LP came out. And I remember giving my mother some of my money saying like, Mama, can you please go to Best Buy on your lunch break and get this album for me? She had no problems doing that for me. Right. And I got it first day. And like, I just really didn't think like it can be any better. Like it was just so good. Like listen, the Eminem Show. Do you remember how you said you were listening to Nothing Was the Same? It's one of your favorite albums because it was a certain time, certain place, you know.
Certain time that feel.
Eminem Show was my 11th grade year, my junior year. We played that shit, me and my friends. My friend had just gotten a Jeep. It was a white Jeep, the old school Jeep. We went to his concert. It was the Anger Management Tour. We went to that concert, man. Like it was just like the soundtrack for my 11th grade year. And not only that, Eminem Show I felt like he was doing a lot at that time. He was making 8 Mile. He made the soundtrack for 8 Mile. And he's writing these lyrics. You know, he's writing the Eminem
That soundtrack
Show.
was
He's
banging,
writing
by the
8
way.
Mile. Great. And there's another song on that album called 8 Mile. There's another song called 8 Mile. I think it's pretty comparable to Lose Yourself. And it's really slept on. A lot of people may not know about it, but listen to Lose Yourself and listen to 8 Mile, like both great songs, right? But I think Eminem Show was like his, that was just like his best album. He's talked about his life. Most albums about your life are usually your best album because you have to be vulnerable and you have to come from a dark place sometimes. And you have to be
right.
Like you got to tell the truth, man. You
Gotta
got
be
to tell the truth.
transparent.
And then with this song, let me flip through it. Like with this album here, it's what everything that was going on in the world. It was just like a perfect album where, you know, Bush had just stolen the election a couple years ago. So he's talking about white America and how white America wants to pretty much see him dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is it a big deal? Because your daughters are finally listening to hip hop because it's a white guy they feel comfortable enough listening to. And now it's, the shit he's talking about is so horrible. And I'm like, yeah, but when black women are listening to it, oh no, that's them. Fuck that. We don't want to get, no, it's when it comes to the white hands, you want to get a problem with it. You want to have a problem with it, you know? And now Eminem coming out, he's talking that nigga shit. You're embarrassed. Like, where did he come from? Like, if it's one thing you want to sing and, you know, you want to join a boy band, fine. But you want to come around with this hibbity hop? Because, come on, go look at the pictures when he first came out. When Eminem first came out, he looked like a poor boy, a poor white boy from the trailer. Like, he would come out, he had the wife beater on with the little button-up shirt opened up. And you could tell it was like the little cheap shirt. So obviously he really had too much money yet. Dre ain't gave him too much money. He still had his hair blonde. And it was like, it wasn't even like expertly cut. You could tell he just kind of did this shit here into it. You know what I mean? Like he had no paper. But Dre was next to him. That's all he needed. Everywhere Eminem went, Dre was next to him. And he was like, yo, I got him. And let me put him in a booth. I want you to do me a favor and listen. I want you to find these 2 songs for me. They were both on Funk Master Flex's album. You might have to find them on YouTube. One song is called Words of Weapons, and it has Eminem and D12. And then there's another song called If I Should Get Locked Up Tonight. And just that last song, If I Should Get Locked Up Tonight, Jesus, man, like he's spitting on that shit. Like and this is his subject matter too. His subject matter, there's no way he should have. There's no way he should.
I took notes on that shit. I'm gonna listen to
it. Okay.
So we can talk about it.
But yeah, just his subject matter. There's no way that he could have. I'm gonna be real. There's no way he should have been let out the gate. Like that shit. Like, man. So I could understand like the Tipper Gores or the whoever the hell is getting mad. Because like, damn, we really let this shit out. Like, are we letting it get this loose? Because don't worry, because one of my favorite Eminem lyrics is from, I think, Kill You. Right. Off the Marshall Mathers LP. He says, serial killer hiding murder material on a cereal box on top of your stereo. How do you think of that? Like, how do you even think of that? So I kind of understand, like, if I'm a white parent and I'm like, serial kid and how to murder material on a cereal box, and you like, oh my God, oh Jesus, you know, it takes you back. But like when you're a hip hop head, you listen to that and you're like, damn, ain't nobody touching this. Can't nobody do that anymore, man. And that's why, like,
I don't think that he could even
stuff,
come out with his first couple albums now.
Yeah, nah.
Not this
can't
time.
do that anymore. No.
We're talking about raping chicks and murdering broads, and I don't even think he could come out with Relapse now. Because Relapse, he was going crazy. Remember? He was going crazy. He was back to his
Relapse,
old psycho self. I know people hate that.
I hated Relapse, bro.
I love Relapse. I like the serial killer.
No, wait. It was Encore. I didn't like Encore because I think that's when his addiction started getting up to him.
Yeah.
And that whole album, Encore, was just real. It was real jokey to me.
Yeah.
And it made me upset. Like, as an Eminem fan, it made me upset when I heard that. Because I was like, this is a little too jokey. And you're not even putting your words and lyrics together like you used to. You know, you're letting the drugs take over you. And let me see. Let me run down and see. This is the first time in Eminem's career where I felt like he was more of a Weird Al Yankovic. This album. I hated this album. I didn't like the fact that he wasted. First off, Dr. Dre's beats weren't the best on this album. I'll say that. And Eminem has always had a problem because Eminem knows how to produce. He's a producer. So, but my thing about Eminem is he back then he used to think all the shit that he made was dope. And he used to it used to be just him and Dre, the beats that we get from. And I'm like, no, you got to venture out. You got to venture out because all your shit is starting to sound the same. And it's just starting to sound like a bunch of loopy shit. And I swear, Big Weenie, where he's talking about Benzino.
Yeah.
Like, you just a big weenie. I'm like, come on, Em, what are you doing? Like, this is awesome jokey shit. Like, I was just really upset with that album. So it wasn't Relapse that I hated. It was Encore.
It was Encore.
Yeah.
Kamikaze.
Love it, boy.
When I heard that album for the first time, my nigga, I almost died, man. Like, God, I love that album.
You think he was back in rare form, right?
I just felt like he was literally kamikaze. He just stopped giving a fuck. My favorite song on that. My favorite song is I just hope we was normal. That song where he talking about dating a girl, and he was just like trying to be normal with her, but they both was just like psychotic and going crazy. And in my album that's about to come out 5, I actually have a song called I Know. And, you know, the first lyric of the song is, I can't fucking remember right now. The first lyric of the song is, you called me a motherfucker so much I thought it was my first name. And that whole song is about like the chaos of growing up in, like, you know, with people that's in a bad relationship that they hate each other, but they ain't got no choice to be in it. But it looks like the perception of it is that me and Courtney, my wife, are beefing. So, you know, I feel like that's what he was able to do with that song. And I feel like Kamikaze was just him just saying, I don't give a fuck no more. I'm just going to go back to my roots, and I'm just going to be who I am as a person. And I'm just going to destroy all you niggas because I'm better than all of y'all lyrically. But what makes me mad about Kamikaze afterwards is that he lost to MGK, which is a problem to me when it comes to putting him at number 1, because
neither one of them won.
MGK won. He won that battle.
I think they both lost.
MGK did something that nobody else could do. He made Eminem look like a clown and a cornball. Sometimes you don't have to beat a motherfucker with lyrics. Sometimes you just make him look stupid to the general public and remove that facade of who you are. Everybody's always been scared of M lyrically. MGK was like, fuck you. First of all, I'll punch you in your face. Second of all, you're not as swaggy as me. I fuck more bitches than you. Third of all, you're not even part of this culture anymore because you just stuck in the house. And niggas don't know you. You don't really go out. You're not here. Everybody love MGK. Like, that's why MGK can transition to rock now. Ain't nobody even mad. Whenever he want to come back to hip hop, we want to embrace him and love him. That's why I think MGK won. Why don't you think MGK won? because the
again,
bars
I just go
wasn't
back
there.
to the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics was
both
there.
of the songs were garbage. Yeah,
Yes.
and Eminem, like I know we and I spoke about it before, but Eminem's verse was just like it was like an answer and response. He was like, "Oh, your beard's weird. Oh yeah, well this is what I think." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Em, come on, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't come on, man." It's like you listen to the song. You're like, okay, that's what you said about me. I'm gonna say just about you here, and I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm like, Em, you're too old for that, bro. You're too old for that shit, man. Let that.
Yeah,
shit
I don't
go.
know. I wish someone told me that M ain't never really had. I think I'm pretty sure Charlamagne God actually said this, which was kind of weird. I think he said that Eminem. Yeah, he is. He said Eminem never had like a real hip hop beef, such as Nas versus Hove.
Yeah, no.
Like Eminem never, like even when he was going up against Cannabis, did he really beat Cannabis though?
What was the rap? What was the beef about? Because I thought Cannabis was done at that point. No,
Cannabis was done. I mean, Cannabis was done after LL Cool J. And anyone that's younger, anyone that's younger that know who the fuck Cannabis is, or you never heard of Cannabis, please listen to Cannabis. Like Cannabis is one of the illest rappers ever. He just got a bad break when he first came out, and for some reason he was beefing against one of the most popular rappers ever.
Yeah, he broke himself, man. That was his fault, man.
Why? Because he said, "I want to take the mic off. Man. Let me take the mic off your arm and let me get it." Like that wasn't. He didn't mean it like disrespect. Damn. Can't take a
matter. Niggas is sensitive, man. No,
they sure the hell is.
No, they can't. And why you gonna take it off his arm? You know what I mean?
Because everyone know that shit is iconic.
That's mad disrespectful.
But he was just saying like, let me.
You couldn't say like, let me borrow it. Because then
you know it's there. You sound right.
I don't know, nigga. But look at him now. I bet he would have had a career if he would have borrowed that shit.
I personally feel like that was just messed up, man. Like, I don't know. First of all, Cannabis beat LL Cool J, obviously, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, he did.
LL Cool J was he fucking destroyed that nigga. He did a song with fucking Mike Tyson. Fuck out of here, nigga.
Mike Tyson that song was in the insane. Video. Yeah, that was
man, that shit. He was sitting there running in the snow, running in the sand, and training. That shit like Rocky. That shit was insane. But
and I remember L in the 4-3-2-1 song. This nigga so whack, man. L, the nigga said, "Nigga, let's get back to the mic on my arm. If it ever left my side, it transform into a tom bomb." I'm like,
yeah,
bro. Even at like 12 years old, I was like, "Come on, my guy."
He was just washed. But at that age, he was washed. Like I don't even like LL Cool J. We're just getting like LL Cool J, bro. He was insane in the 80s. Like. That motherfucker was born in beef. So I understand why he would take that shit personal. He was literally born in beef. Like, he started his rap career beefing against everybody. He didn't give a fuck who you was. Yeah. That little motherfucker, I remember he was like 135 pounds, scorching wet from Queens, and he was destroying cats. He could eat everybody up. Like, he was one of the best rappers ever. LL Cool J, like Eminem says LL Cool J is the best. Like, that's how insane LL was. But when we was growing up, LL was like the big buff nigga that like nobody could relate to because ain't nobody big and buff. Yeah, like he was like on some old TV star shit. So it's kind of like how people be thinking about like Ice-T. Like Ice-T was one of the illest spitters in his era. Ice Cube too. Ice-T and Ice Cube was both of the illest spitters in their era. If you out there, you never listen to No Vaseline, do yourself a fuck, cut us off and listen to No Vaseline, then come back. Because No Vaseline is first of all, it's weird. Song. That is one of the best diss songs, but if you listen to it, it is weird. Because this nigga talking about anal sex with men, but not him. It's weird. It is kind of weird. But it's the best diss song ever made, basically, besides Ether, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm just saying, LL Cool J was insane, but Cannabis still won that shit, but that shit destroyed his career. But back to it, Eminem really never had no real beef with no real MCs. Like, he never went up against a Hove or, I don't know, who was really popping like that in his era. That was like great rappers. I mean, he didn't really battle Royce the 5'9", but Royce the 5'9" did kill D12. So, I mean, Royce is right up there with M2.
What did he do with D12? I missed that one. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Royce is great.
Lyrically, yeah. He just don't have like that appeal and that fan power, but Royce the 5'9" is just as ill as a spitter as him. And every time they do a song together, they always go bar for bar. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't know what happened, really, the background of it, but Royce da 5'9" left Shady and dissed the whole D12 because I guess he felt like these motherfuckers was coming at him first and saying he was doing some shady shit. So he dissed the whole D12. And everybody know the only real true spitter in D12 was it Logic? Was that guy's name?
Proof.
The skinny. Proof. Proof was the only real spitter in D12 that like will get in your ass. Like besides Royce, when he was like kind of part of that crew, and M. It was like those were the three spitters, you know what I'm saying? But he came at all of them niggas. He didn't really fuck with M because he still loved M. But like that's like another thing too. Is like M never had no real beef with nobody of name that was lyrically on his level. And maybe that's because
what
the people
that
was is hard. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's just a reason why he's not number one in my opinion. Once you start talking about the top five, no, but when you start talking about the top five, man, it's just like football or basketball. You start just sweating the small shit. These are legends. They all had classic albums.
Right.
They've all had classic singles.
That's what I did with the album. That's what I did with Lil Wayne with the albums because all his albums weren't that great. So that's why I said, when do the catalogs come into the picture?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
To me, it's the whole equation. That's why Lil Wayne in my top five, though.
But you're nitpicking. I got you. But you are nitpicking now about Eminem saying like he's never had like a real beef, so you can't put him on your I guess a bit higher. And I'm like, what's the beef? What's beef? You know what I mean?
So Hov and Nas had real beef.
I would
Tupac and Biggie had real beef. They also all had classic albums. Nas had, I would say, 2 to 3. Hov has had 3 to 4. Tupac has had, I don't know if Tupac ever dropped a bad album personally. Ever. That's just my opinion. Biggie didn't have any because he didn't get the last. But, Biggie didn't have a bad album. Kendrick has never really had a bad album. So these niggas, and then M has had like 2 bad albums, but he's also released like 12 albums. So it's like, that don't really count. So you have to start nitpicking.
M's had like 3 bad albums.
Yeah, right. But he's also
so Lil Wayne has had 3 bad albums.
But see, what about his mixtapes? Because between Carter
really count though.
But yes, it does because between Carter 2 and like and Carter 3, remember when he kept saying I'm the best rapper alive? And he had beef remember, Lil Wayne had beef with Hov. He trying to go bar for bar with Hov. He had beef with Hov. That's why they did that song together. They had beef because he was saying I'm the best rapper alive, and Hov was like, "No, you're not, little nigga. I'm the best rapper." And Lil Wayne was like, "No,
because at that time, Hov had retired and went and did his whole thing at that
he
jam.
Came back though,
so that's why. Right after a few years, but by that time, Lil Wayne was the best rapper.
That was
over. Sorry,
Hov was not trying to hear that shit. Hov was like, "I can retire right now, and I'm still better than all y'all." No, you're not, bro. And then he didn't like that new culture that Lil Wayne brought along.
Beef, though.
It was a beef. I'm talking about in terms of like Lil Wayne literally saying I'm better than Hov, and Hov being like that motherfucker can't touch me. Period. Not like a beef like street or anything, but in terms of them like throwing shots at each other, that was a real beef. And Lil Wayne took that title by force, but he did it because of the mixtapes. Because on the mixtapes, when you listen to those mixtapes between Carter 2 and between Carter 3, that motherfucker dropped like 20 or 30 mixtapes. That's when you had like No Ceilings and all those mixtapes where he's dropping like 20 songs. He's freestyling on songs that's out and he's just killing each one. He's doing better than the actual artist that was in them. Then he's making his own original songs. Like that song, All We Do Is Shop Until We Drop. Like There Ain't No Floor. Remember that song by Dream? Dream had a song like that. He sampled it, remixed it, and just made it like a hit song out of it. Lil Wayne just has so many good songs on his mixtapes. That's why Hov said, I'm probably going to get the mixtape Wheezy. Remember he said that on Def for Auto-Tune?
Yeah.
That's what he was. The mixtape Lil Wayne is the reason why he's in my top 10. But he's not good in terms of albums, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, M though, M is so close. If M does another Kamikaze, he's probably going to be like number 2.
I feel like music to be murdered by was prime Eminem. Like he was back to his old ways. That was old Slim Shady.
Yeah, that was a.
I think
really
he kind of tested
album.
the waters with Kamikaze. Yeah. He tested the waters with Kamikaze, and then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm coming in. Look, man, I'm coming all the way in. Either like it or don't. And I fucking loved it. I think that was his
Kamikaze was
best
a troll
album
album,
since a troll album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that. Because he just kind of wanted to get at everybody who kind of felt he fell off, or he was whack, or he was, because of Revival, the album before that, it didn't go over.
Yeah, Revival was bad. That was a bad album, though.
But Revival, concept album. Go back and check it, listen to it.
It is a concept.
You know what I mean?
And he's talked about that shit before. When Bush was elected, he made that whole song. I think the song was called Mosh Pit. Yeah,
Mosh.
Mosh, and he talked about that shit before. But the newer fans that just know Eminem as a legend, they hear that shit. It sounds like he's just trying to do something that's popular now, but he's actually trying to help from his perspective, because every ally is important. And he's made all his money off of black culture. And he knows that. He said, I'm the modern day Elvis. He always says that. So it's not like he's not socially aware. I just don't think he does enough from my perspective. I don't know what that nigga do with his money. But from my perspective, when he did try to reach out there and try to be like in touch with the communities and try to like show that his support for like the like having bad leadership at the president's level, and it's all the other things going on like police shootings and the police brutality. When he tried to do that, it just came off as if he's trying to be relevant. And that's why Kamikaze was such a great response to that. Because that album was trash.
What's wrong with trying to sound relevant? That's my thing. Okay, maybe too much relevancy. Like, I don't think he was trying to even do trap. He was still in his lane on Revival, And I still don't get me wrong. I still don't think it was a great album either. And I think that's what pisses him off so much. That's why he made Revival, like you said, because I'm sorry. That's why he made
Kamikaze.
Because everybody he just expected and wanted people to love that album Revival so much more.
It was so bad.
I feel like listening to it, he put his all into it. He put a lot into it. He really did. Yeah. I could listen to it. I hear the concept in it. I hear the try in it. But I also just like, this ain't no shit that I really want to listen to all the time. I think there's like a difference in Eminem's too. So from Slim Shady LP to like maybe Encore, it's like, or maybe the Eminem Show. It's a different Eminem lyrically. Then you have like Encore and Revival. I feel like Encore, he was high. He made a bunch of goofy shit. Revival, Relapse, he was trying to get back on top. Recovery was a great album as well.
Yes, it was.
But I just feel like just put the white shit aside and just forget the fact that, yes, this is our music, quote unquote. I don't think lyrically anybody's beating him, but I also think like he's the most open rapper. You know what I mean? And I think he opened the doors for a lot of other rappers that we have out nowadays, the younger rappers who are more free to be out in the open. But the thing is they're not learning from Eminem. They're learning from, I guess, themselves, from other rappers that they've listened to that have learned from Eminem. Because Eminem has been vulnerable as shit from the beginning. Like he'll. So have you ever heard that like people joke around, but there's still truth in the joke?
Yeah,
that's what I feel about Eminem.
Yeah, like that's how comedy is. Yep, that's the best comedy is. Based in truth. Yep,
that's what he's good. Best form. I think that's the best entertainment. Because you have to laugh to keep from crying. And he'll put that shit out and he'll make a joke about it. Me and my mom's this and my mom's on drugs and shit like this. But really, that shit's really hurting him on the inside. And it didn't get into like till the Eminem Show where he's just like, look. Like this shit, it does hurt. It hurts now. On the Eminem Show, he was like, it hurts now. Like it's always hurting, but he's opening up his heart and being like, yo, fuck all the jokey shit. Like this shit hurts now because it's not just about my mom anymore. It's about like You got like Tipper Gore and the Republicans on my ass. You have like, I'm rapping for hip hop. I'm rapping because I love to do it. I'm rapping because I've been doing this since the beginning of time. And like people still ain't giving me my just due. He has a song called Till I Collapse with Nate Dogg.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
I remember that shit.
He's talking about, he said,
rest in peace,
here's
Nate
my
Dogg.
list. Here's my list in the order it's in. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada, Corrupt, Nas, and then me. On his own list, he puts himself last.
Yeah, because
he says,
first of all,
when I'm not on this list, the shit does not offend me. Because I already know you're not going to put me on the fucking list. I already know you're not. And it's not because I'm not nice. It's because I'm white. That is it. That dude said Reggie, Redman, Method Man, Tupac, Biggie, all these people, that's his list. And he would still put himself on the bottom of that list. And none of them rappers are touching him. That's Eminem being humble. That's Eminem being humble. Nobody's touching him.
Reggie Noble
is a black Eminem. Is a black Eminem.
Yes, I was about to say that's why Reggie Noble was like his number one, because he is Reggie. Like I know motherfuckers don't listen to Redman. Please listen to Redman. Like we might have to put a part in our podcast recommendations for you to stop being a dumb motherfucker. Redman is the truth. Like let's get that clear. Redman could still come in this motherfucker and destroy me and everybody I know. Like Redman's insane, and he's like older. Method Man too. Method Man can't make good albums, but Method Man can eat you in the future. Yeah. Let's get that straight. So, dog, I think you changed my mind, bro. And I ain't on your front. Right. Like I think I might put.
And look, I'm not even done. Man. I'm not even done. Hold on. I'm just talking off of just one album, the Eminem Show, and that's because that's my favorite album, right?
Right.
Like with all this shit going on that he has, it's like. Till I Collapse, I said, like, nobody's going to put them on his list. The shit that he's going through with his wife, you know what I mean? Like, he's still trying to be a good dad throughout all this shit, bro. He's bro, listen to the song Soldier.
I know Soldier. I'm a soldier.
Listen to the, my God, man.
I remember that song.
This nigga said, excellent murder, because like that, you murder and you can hurt him and come back and get it. My God, man. He's talking about getting into a fight over this chick. Him trying to be a good father, him trying to make up and fighting back again with his mama, him fighting the goddamn government, bro. And he's like, I got to put all this, I still got to make this music. I'm still an entertainer. I'm still a rapper. Like I still signed this record deal with Dr. Dre. I still got to make this album. He put everything into the Eminem Show. And I don't see how anybody doesn't hear that. I feel like Eminem Show is better than Carter 3. I feel like it's definitely better than Carter 4. You know what I mean? I feel like he hasn't made as deep as an album as that, but I still feel like with the rest of his catalog, whether he's joking or not, he's been the most vulnerable. And that counts for something. That means something.
Bro,
you know, because a lot of people,
you're right.
A lot of people that try to be vulnerable, you got to dig to what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like the Rolling
very
Stones,
cryptic.
The Rolling Stones and yes, like the Beatles, the Stones, like Wild Horses Floyds, by the Rolling Stones, man. Like it took me a million times to listen to that, but like, he's talking, somebody's addicted. But it took me a million times to listen to that song. Like Eminem's like, this is what the fuck is going on, man. Thank you for listening. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one, like, he'll talk shit every now and then. He'll talk about the jewels and this and that every once in a while, because he is a rapper at the end of the day. But, bro, he's the one rapper that I can think of, and just correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not trying to be right. He's the one rapper that I can think of that, like, he's just been the most open. Like, he's the one that's like, I just got to get this shit off my chest.
The most open and the most direct, yes. K-Dot is open, but he's very cryptic. I think he likes for his fans to... Also, I think K-Dot just records a whole bunch of music and then puts it together to make it seem like I'm trying to tell like a big message. But Eminem would tell you like straight up, like, I was molested and my mom didn't do nothing about it when I was a little kid. Like that was on like one of his last albums, one of his recent albums. I think that was on Relapse. It was on Relapse. I was like the second song. I remember listening to that shit. I was like, God damn. So you're right. And that's the reason why.
I think that was some jokey shit though. I don't think that was.
No, he had a whole song about it. I think he did.
I know. No, I don't
That's
think
possible.
Okay.
You don't joke
I thought
about
it
that
was-
for a whole album or a whole
Eminem
song.
does.
He
Eminem
does, but I
does.
really think that happened though. Like that makes sense.
God
Like just from what, and the only reason why I say that makes sense is because looking at his history, but I only would know his history because I listen to his music. So now you're right. You've changed my opinion. That motherfucker is number 2, in my opinion. He ain't gonna be number 1 because I don't think that he's good. It's not that I don't think he's better than Kendrick in a lot of things, but I feel like Kendrick has so much of Eminem and so much of Nas and so much of Biggie and so much of Hove and so much of Rakim and so much of LL and so much of other great MCs, man. Like, I just feel, and it's just odd to me that you could be a cat that can make music for the radio, music for the club, music for just like R&B and rap, but then you also can make conscious music and you could just fit it all together in one album and sell it as a package that just bangs from start to finish. Like,
Yeah.
But see, talking about this now makes me want to listen back to Eminem's catalog. And talking about this now makes me want to listen back to Kendrick's catalog.
Yeah.
Because all these motherfuckers is great. Like the top motherfucking 5 that I have and the top 5 that you have, the only artist that we have different is Kendrick, right? It's a big difference because I got him number 1. But they're all goats. So would Tupac and Biggie still be dope in this era? That's our topic for this week. Would Tupac and Biggie still be dope in 2021? Now, I'm going to let Wayne go first because I feel that I know Wayne's answer because we kind of talked about it, just, full transparency. We kind of talked about it a little bit before. Yeah. But we're going to really dive deeper into this because I think it's more important than people really think. So if you don't know or listen to a lot of Tupac and Biggie, or you haven't listened to their catalog, listen to their catalog because it's really a lot of timeless music in it.
Absolutely.
So that's a very key important fact. But go ahead, Wayne. What do you think? Do you think that Tupac and Biggie would still be dope in this era?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
You tripping.
I think things would have changed. Here's what I think. I think Pac would have been an actor. I think he would have went over to the acting side a little bit more. I think Big, and this may sound absolutely stupid. This may sound so stupid, but listen, I think Big would have made like maybe jazz albums, like on some Queen Latifah type shit.
Okay,
I know.
Keep going.
Okay, all right.
Keep
all right.
going. We'll talk about that in a second.
Like, do you remember when Big did the Player Hater song on Life After Death? So I remember reading in like a 10-year anniversary on Double XL a long time ago. They did for that album, Life After Death. They did an interview with Lil C's. Mm-hmm. They said that song was originally it was Big, Lil C's, all the Junior Mafia, and it was just all just like they was just singing the song because they were recording next to a jazz club, and they always used to hear the jazz musicians playing. So they invited the jazz musicians, to play music for them, right? And then they played this whole song, and it was all them, and they was all in the studio just wake up, player hater. They were just all singing, right? And then the album finally comes out, and it's just Big and Puff. Like Puff was on the album on the second verse, singing his verse, right? And he's listening, Lil C's is listening like, yo, what is this? Like, this wasn't it. Like, it was just all of us in the studio just wilding out singing. You know what I mean? And you cut all that out and just put Puffy on there because that's the type of shit that Puffy does. You know what I mean? But I say that to say that like, he also said that Big wanted to someday do some type of a jazz album or a singing album or a blues album. You know what I mean? He wanted to call it like Big Songs or Biggie Singles or something like that. He wanted to just even if it was on like some jokey shit, like he just wanted to really sing, just like in Player Hater. So I guess it was an album full of songs like Player Hater or something like it. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like he would have ventured into something else. But I don't feel like either one of them would have kept rapping, I don't think they would have been relevant.
Okay.
I think Big would have been doing something completely different. I also think him and Puff would have fell out too by now if he were alive. But
so,
say what you gonna say, man.
We could talk about the Jazz Standard album that Biggie was going to do. Makes sense because Biggie is a 70s baby. And that music that was in the 60s and 70s was the shit. Most of the music, most of hip hop came from that because of the sampling of those records and making loops out of it and stealing the drum loops from that shit. So there is the passion of that for all musical artists to always make live music. So I would not be surprised if Biggie actually did that, but I would be surprised if Puffy let that shit happen. Because Puffy's about making records and making hit records and making guap. Right. Now, if he could make a hit jazz record, then I don't think Puffy would give a fuck. But weirder things have happened in music. So that could have been possible. This is my opinion. I don't think that music would be the same if Tupac and Biggie were still here and still making music. So their deaths was a drastic shift in hip hop, right? When that shit happened, you had a lot of people get inspired that were future artists. For example, if Tupac was still alive, would there be a Game? Would Game ever came out?
See, man.
No, fuck that question. Would Eminem have been here? What would Eminem have even been with Dr. Dre?
Possibly because Dre and Pac had already fallen out by then. Because remember, Pac was going at Dre and All Eyes on Me. Because he even took the California Love. That was Dr. Dre's beat. He knocked that beat out and put the remix on there. You know, so that was already kind of beefing out of it. You know, so
that's a good point. So that's what. Okay,
so I don't know.
There will probably still be M, right?
Right.
Would Tupac? Would there have been a Game? Probably not, because Game is so inspired by Pac. Or would they have been a Kendrick?
Why not? Just because Pac is alive doesn't mean that he still wouldn't have had that impact. Because Pac was still very impactful when he was alive, you know?
But his music would have changed West Coast culture. Whatever he did after that, people would have just followed that because he was the king of West Coast culture at that time. Remember when NWA was popping? Tupac was like that. He was that inspirational. So not only did he make hit records, right? But he also, his music, you had to come like he was coming to be able to make music during that time if he was from the West Coast and be considered the top. And the guys I named, the Game was the top of the West Coast, right? And then Kendrick right now, is the top of the West Coast now. I don't think that neither one of them niggas would have ever been able to have those crowns because Tupac still would have been alive and been a legend. I just feel like Tupac
I don't think he would have been.
I don't think he would have just been doing acting though. Great. I still think he would have been rapping.
I don't think he would have been that great still. I mean, even if he was still rapping.
How though?
If you're alive, because bro.
All Eyes on Me is still dope now.
His last album, I still feel like his last album to me, where he was in his right state of mind, was All Eyes on Me. All Eyes on Me.
Okay.
Let's take Machiavelli. This is Machiavelli. We're going to take Machiavelli. We're going to put this over here for a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Listen to All Eyes on Me and listen to Me Against the World. They sound totally different. Totally different, right? Because he was in a different mind frame right here on Me Against the World. He was on it was Me Against the World, but it was really...
Literally.
It's really the same album that he made, what's Tupacalypse Now? I always felt like Me Against the World was like Tupacalypse Now Part 2. Right?
Okay.
So, and then you have All Eyes on Me. That's like the Thug Pac. That's when he started to smell his own shit. That's when he started to be like, yo, I do this. Like I run this, like the guns, the drugs, the this and the that. It's a completely different sound. I feel like Pac would have tried to continue on that route because after that, he made Machiavelli. And for that, like I still don't know the full story on it, but he had to create a whole different persona. So that means he's one of
That's
those.
more him transitioning to that record label. To him going to Death Row though. Like you talking about that transition between him and Death Row.
Right, but I mean he All Eyes on Me was Death Row.
Right.
He was already there.
They were getting more and more like hostile and gangster because remember, Death Row started off as Dr. Dre shit, really. And he, what that fucking nigga name is? The producer dude, Sugar, what that nigga name was?
The
guy that Suge Knight.
I think.
Suge Knight. So Dr. Dre and Suge Knight came together. You know, Suge Knight was like a bodyguard type nigga. So like when they came together and created Death Row, like that shit was like, that had like a major impact, but more of the gangster shit started coming in to Death Row. And I feel like he just responded in that. And plus he became way more militant. But if you listen to interviews with Tupac during that time, he was becoming more militant and more about, you know what I'm saying? Like the actual uprising of our people. I feel like he would have got more conscious again, like he was when he first came out. When, Brenda had a baby and shit like that. And he always had like gangster party. He always had them bangers. Like, let's not. Right. But he also had a lot of like, he made Dear Mama, man. He made, See Things Changing. He's made so many songs like that are really actually impactful and connect with the black man's struggle and the black woman's struggle as well.
I know, but those were.
And that's timeless music. And I still think he could do that today.
But that was, even though it was one album ago, that was the past.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Pac from on All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli, like he did have those militant type songs, but he didn't have anything like a Brenda's Got a Baby, or he didn't have anything like Rise Up, like, nothing real positive. I mean, everything was just, it was just really aggressive.
But I feel like that shit was coming. When you listen to his interviews, I feel like that shit was coming. The one point I do give you is that he was becoming a major actor. But if you look at the movies that came after his death, what movies would Tupac have really been in? Like, what would he be doing now? Superhero movies? This is fucking Tupac. Like,
no, that's one of those questions you don't know. He could have, I don't know, man. He could have written his own movies.
Probably.
Sky's the limit.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, and you can create a movie for Pac if that really were the case. You know what I mean?
If you really wanted to, he was a big enough actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just feel I feel like Tupac's an artist. I don't feel like I feel like he could do it all. I feel like he could act and make music. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in me and my personal opinion, when it comes to Tupac still being alive, the West Coast would have been very different. I don't think you would have saw Game, and I damn sure don't think you would have saw Kendrick. I know that they are Kendrick spirits, but those cats, him dying spurred a lot of people to do music.
I don't feel like you need to have either or, because I'm saying like Pac, even if Pac would have survived and made 10 more albums, there still could have been a Game. There still could have been a Kendrick. They could still look up to him. There's people that look up to Jay-Z. Jay-Z's still alive. You know what I mean?
That's true. But if Jay-Z had died after Reasonable Doubt, it would have been different.
So what's the point?
Let me explain this. Let me explain my point. Everything that happens changes the future, right? This is obvious. Me and you having this conversation right now at this time and me not being in the streets doing something might change the future for someone. Just driving. I believe the butterfly effect. When you butterfly wiping his motherfucking wings, flying around, if he don't do that shit could change the entire fabric of reality for the future. You might not understand it or know it, but it's the truth. I feel like if Tupac was here and certainly Biggie was here, music would not be the same. I feel like Biggie wouldn't have stifled hip hop, but I feel like hip hop would be way more based off of lyricism, as if it being more based off of fun. Because I remember when Biggie would come out and he would, even though he didn't do a lot of songs, when he was out there, you had to be nice to be on. That's the thing. That's why they call that shit the golden era. You had to be nice lyrically to even step in the booth. Then you had to be nice at recording. Then you had to be nice at making fucking songs. Then you had the swag. Then you had to be able to have motherfuckers that believe in you. You don't have to do none of that shit now. Now you can just scream on a record. One of the number one records in this country is called Dolphins, bro. And it's literally a song of what niggas recording dolphins swimming. And then he'd be like, out of nowhere, he'd be like, I like dolphins.
What? What is that on?
It's called Dolphins. Go on Apple Music and just look up Dolphins. What is it? I'm not fucking playing. I can't get my shit on a playlist, but these crazy motherfuckers can. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Biggie would have made hip hop be more serious. I don't think they would be all this singing shit right now. I don't think that motherfuckers that's trash would be able to get on. Everyone can make popular music and get on. But if Biggie was still here, I feel like the fact that you had to have bars was important. I really don't believe Dipset would have been anything if Biggie was still alive in New York, period. I don't think Dipset would ever came out. I don't think there would have been no Jim Jones because you had to have bars and them niggas did not. They just made fun music. But when you have the nigga that
you say they don't have bars?
Not to the point of Frank White. Not like Frank White.
No, it's not about to the point of Frank White, but I mean, they got good enough bars to be on a song. You couldn't hear a song with Jim Jones and I mean,
Cameron did drop an album when Biggie was alive. Let me not front.
Right on. True. Right on. Right.
But that album was real lyrically like dominant. Like that nigga was like really snapping. Yeah. But that's because that was the culture. But see, this is the other thing. Didn't Nas make Uchi Wally when Biggie was still alive?
Yeah.
Or am I tripping?
No, Uchi Wally was in high school.
So I was like, what, 98?
93, so 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Yeah.
If Biggie was still here, I don't think he would ever did that shit. Even though they had beef, I think they had little beef. Like Biggie had a little beef with Nas. I think that the standard of music would have been changed. Because when Biggie did make songs, he made songs that was like grown folk music, but still could be enjoyed by kids.
I disagree. I could hear Big on Uchi Wally.
I could never hear Big on Uchi Wally.
Why not? Why not?
Because that song is bad, for one. That song is corny as fuck. And I don't think Biggie's not a corny person, bro. Nas ain't neither.
You say
what?
Corny? Stop it.
Uchi Wally is corny.
Give me a second.
Okay. Don't play the song because we can't play it.
No. Right on. I'm not gonna do that. Well, give me a second. I'm gonna go through his catalog. This dude you're talking about the same Big who made a song on the Born Again album.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, the fucking skit in Life After Death where he talks about the girl that wants him to pee on her or some shit like that.
No, he wants her. He said he was fucking this bitch, and he was like, "I want you to shit on." She wanted him to shit on her, and he did it. So that's not corny though. That's deprecation. That's actual.
So he still has that
fetish
sense of humor. Not to mention Dead Wrong.
Yes, he does.
To Dead Wrong with him and Eminem on there, which is crazy because I feel like that man. That's why I love Dead Wrong so much because I feel like Dead Wrong. Like Puff heard that song was like, hell no, bro. Ain't no way in the world we gonna put that song out. We gonna throw that shit under the couch and never find that again. Yep. And then Eminem came out with that wild and crazy shit and be like, you know what? I got this wild and crazy shit under the couch from Big and I want you to spit on and listen to it. And so he does have that in him. I think Big has a Uchi Wally in him at the very least.
I would say that first of all, Hove wouldn't even. Biggie would have big homie Hove, straight up. Like Hove, like Big would have big homie that nigga. So there wouldn't even be a Hove now. So think about how much influence Hove had on Drake. Like, would there even be a Drake? Like Hove wouldn't probably be as powerful. That position probably would have been taken up by Biggie. Like all that shit that Hove did. Man,
no, because look, bro,
Reasonable Doubt is just still swagger jacking Life After Death.
Bro, look at the greats that they're still alive now. You got LL Cool J. Right. I don't want to say he washed up, but he's doing like Law and Order and shit like that, or whatever TV show is on. I don't know, whatever cop show.
That's Ice-T, but all right, I feel where you're coming from. Yes.
Okay, Ice-T. Right. Ice-T too, right? Like, look, man, they all would have been the same if they wouldn't have died again, or if they survived and then died within this time, then they would have been the same route, man. Would nobody? I highly doubt we still would have been listening to Pac and Big records. Even if they came out, it would just be like on like some mixtape shit.
I feel like them two could transcend the 90s, because you do have a point that only a few artists have transcended the 90s. The golden era was so dope. Back to my point, because you had to be a top flight spitter. When you delete the two top flight spitters, we ain't even talking about the social impact that Tupac had. The fact that Tupac was trying to lead an uprising against fucking the government, shit like that. We're not even gonna talk about all of that speculative shit. But let's just really talk about like artistry. You take away two of the top spitters in the world, right? The best rappers in the world. They both gone within like a 2-year span.
Yeah.
What does that do to music? Music totally changed. Like, Big Pimpin' came out after that shit. Yes, I personally believe that Biggie would have probably been on Big Pimpin', but would that have even came out? Because Biggie probably would have did that song. I just feel like Biggie would have still been the top 5 spitter, just kind of like Hove is now. I feel like that spot that Hove got, unfortunately, was because Biggie died. Biggie would have been Hove. Like, straight up. Biggie would have been Hove.
I feel like both artists, Big and Pac, would have had like a couple more classics in them.
Yes, I definitely can say that.
I definitely give you that.
Yep.
But they would have fallen off. I don't feel like
so look,
either one of them would have had like that staying power that Jay-Z has now. I don't feel that.
Let's get out of the 1990s. Let's talk about now. Let's talk about now, right now. Okay. You heard that song Rockstar, right? Or Track Star, I'm sorry. She be running like a track star. She gonna da. And then the other song, Rockstar, with Polo G, right? Mm-hmm. And then think about Lil Baby, think about the Migos, think about all of the music we've had. That's like the popular music in the past, like, let's say 2 years, right? From 2019 to 2011. Hove is here. Nas is still here. Mm-hmm. They do not have, the music still happened. Hove literally made a song called Kill Auto-Tune. The death of Auto-Tune. That shit didn't do nothing. Auto-Tune got used more, right? Niggas is singing on songs. The beats, when I search for beats, I gotta literally find beats where I can't sing to. Like, I can sing, if I wanted to, I could sing like all of these other motherfuckers, but why sound the same and look like I'm a swagger jacker? I don't think the singing shit might not have happened because Tupac and Biggie was here, but I could be wrong. But my opinion is that singing shit, that auto-tune, the harmonization would have not happened. But from what you saying, Biggie was trying to do that shit in 1998.
I wouldn't necessarily say auto-tune, but yeah, I feel differently, because here's the thing with Hove is, I think like Hove probably thinks the same thing that you think, right? Mm-hmm. Like Big would have been much bigger if he were alive, right? He would be just like the epicenter of hip hop, right? And that's fine. My thing is, Hove tries to control things, and he tries to control hip hop. And I don't think he as popular and famous and rich as Hove is, he's not that person that we look up to. You know what I mean? Because he tries so hard, because he comes out and he'll say something. He said death of auto-tune. He wanted that shit to be over in music, right? But nah, we say that if we want to stay around forever, like, who are you to come in and say no? He thinks he has like that power to just say, this is what I want. And we'd be like, okay, bam, here it is. Like, no, Hov, it's up to us. We love you, but we're not going to just like let you run shit. Like, he did that too when, like, back when Michael Jackson passed away. And he had said some shit in a magazine talking about like, now that Mike is gone, I think that Usher's next up. I think that Usher is the best, entertainer in the world. And I'm reading it and I'm like, bro, do me a favor, Hov. Turn around and look next to you, my nigga. What do you see? See that beautiful young lady that you're married to right there? That is the world's best entertainer. How dare, but he's trying to make that shit, you know what I mean? Like he's just trying to like make his voice heard and make that be like a rule, like Usher's the next up. And we're like, no. And I feel that he wants that big energy. Mm-hmm. Like I run hip hop, you know what I mean? But like with Big and Pac, they didn't just, it was just in them. Like Jay-Z's trying. Like Big and Pac, they were just being themselves. And people, like Jay-Z wants people to be influenced off of him. But he has no influence because he don't even know who he wants to be. Hov is a swagger jacker himself. Yes. Outside of wanting to be a rich man. Outside of wanting to be a rich man. Hov, he's a swagger jacker.
Hov is not a swagger jacker. Hov is a swagger baller. It's different. It's the same. He'll take, man. You made it a hot. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
Please, and he's
good for that Hov.
He's good.
That's he said that. That's his whole thing. I feel where you're coming from, though, my G. And you have a good points, man. You have some good points. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and close it out, man.
We can go on forever.
We can, and we will. You know what I'm saying? More lozenges and motherfucking more green tea up in here. But just please remember to like, subscribe. This is our first episode, so let us know in the comments what we can make better, how we can adjust, what you think about the topics that we're talking about. What is your opinion? Everything of that nature. Shit, if you do covers, you want to edit videos, you want to do whatever, let us know. We just want to engage with y'all. Let y'all know that we love and appreciate anyone that listens to this. And we just want to stay here, be here, provide good content to you folks, and just continue to have fun and talk about the culture that we all love, which is hip hop. And we just thank y'all, man. So remember that we're going to be releasing videos on the schedule. We're going to do the I Feel You podcast. That's going to be released every Friday. And we also are going to do another podcast, which is going to be weekly news, but we're going to probably do more of that down the line. And during our next video, you'll see that we'll have more of a consistent format. But this one, we just wanted you guys to get to know a little bit more about us and get to know more about what we think about just our general basis of hip hop, like our top 5. So like, subscribe, y'all, and we'll check y'all out next time, man.
Thank y'all so much, man. I can't wait for the next episode, man. Peace out.